According to Zillow, there's still 4.3 million units of single family and multifamily affordable housing units that are needed across the United States. And for those of you guys that are wondering where these numbers came from and the staggering delinquency of available housing units that are available for you, your family members, friends, colleagues, and other working class professionals, where did they go? Well, this is where, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest things right now is that between 2015 and 2021, there was only 6.3 million dwellings that were actually constructed for move-in in its entirety, not just in affordable housing, but actual housing in family units. And so in that exact same time period, over 7.9 million households moved into the United States. Not only that, over 7.1 million new households were formed in the United States during that exact same period. And so right now, what's going on is the increase of the needed housing units that are available and what we can actually produce don't coincide, putting downward pressure on contractors, developers, and the United States in general to be able to go in and be able to produce these households. Now, over 8 million families are doubling up. And what does that mean to you guys? That means that your kids, your parents, your friends, colleagues, and other people are doubling up in their residency. So you take a house like this, for sake of example, that might have 3 bedrooms, and now there's 2 households that are sharing one entire home. And out of those 8 million people, 3.7 million of them don't even have an option. They have to. They're stuck living there because out of those people, there's not enough dwelling units to be able to fill. So whether they want to or not, 3.7 million of those households are going to be required to have to live and double up with other families because there's just not enough housing units available, according to Zillow, to be able to support where these people actually live. And so one of the big things that we found out by looking at the research done by Zillow is that out of the 8 million families that are doubling up, over 68% of them make less than $35,000, meaning that there is more need for affordable housing units than anything else across the United States right now. And there's just not the bandwidth to be able to put this together. So look, ladies and gentlemen, from past research, one thing that we found from the National Association of Home Builders is that on average, over a decade period, over 10 years, the U.S. over the since the 1960s to today, decade over decade, has been able to form over 10 to 11 million new households per year of single family dwelling units. The problem is that in the 2008 financial crisis, between 2009 and 2020, only 6 million new dwelling units were actually formed during that time period because of the compression in the market and because of the financial crisis. Had to do with lending, had to do with the fear factor of builders going after these new builds, and there was a lot of factors involved. And so one of the big things that we've been talking about since 2019 is affordable housing. It's one of the biggest pushes that we've had in this housing sector, because as a US American population, if we did everything perfect for the next 10 years, we would still only be able to produce approximately 11 million homes for new home buyers. So what happens? There's 8 million people that need homes. There's 4.3 million that are in immediate need of homes today. And then the growth of new people moving in, if you just take the numbers from 2015 to 2021, that's a 6-year period, ladies and gentlemen. If we saw over 15 million new home buyers that needed a place to live from people that were just moving to the United States and new households that were formed, that means we're not going to be able to fulfill the threshold even if we did everything perfect. Because if 15 million more homes are needed over the next decade and we're only able to produce 11 million, we're still going to be at a deficit of over 4 million homes that are needed and shortage just from the next decade of what's duplicating right now. That doesn't even fulfill today's current needs. This is the largest housing deficit that we've had in the United States in over 40 years since the baby boomers. So ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean as far as opportunity for you and I? Now look, one of the big things that I've been talking about is affordable housing in the multifamily sector, because there's such a large threshold of people that can't even afford to move into their own new homes. And now with interest rates going up, that has decreased the ability for new home buyers to be able to afford. This is where the opportunity lies for you guys. When you go in, and even if you're building a 4-unit, a 10-unit, a 20-unit, for you ambitious folks that want to go out and build 50 units or 100 units, affordable housing right now is more so needed than any other time in history. And the good news is if you take your professional career that you typically spend 30 years investing in as far as time, and you condense and consolidate that into the next 10 years and make a 10-year commitment to building out affordable housing, not only are you creating passive and residual income for you, but you're creating well-needed single-family dwelling units that are more on the affordable side that have to get leased, and there's a market threshold that needs to be produced in the U.S. more so now than ever in the last 40 years. You get to take the upside of the profits from being able to create this. And so the question is, how do you do this? How do you go out and how do you get into the building sector, the development sector? How do you learn how to be able to go out and invest in these assets that are not available, need to be produced, and you as a normal individual get to go out and learn how to do so? One thing that people have been asking me, they say, Jerome, why do you teach this stuff? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been trying to scale up. And what this means for you guys is that if you can come in and we can teach people like you guys how to go out and generate revenue from smaller dwellings, you can come in, and as we start helping you crush it and make more profits, we could take that capital and invest it into large multi-unit developments like the one I'm standing in today, where you can go out and be an investor. And you might not be able to go out and build a 300-unit apartment complex, but you can invest in one and take the upside as a limited partner, a general partner, or an equity investor in any one of these assets and take advantage of what we're doing on the upside. And it helps us scale to be able to produce thousands upon thousands of dwelling units. We can't hit the millions mark on our own, and it's not going to hit the millions of needed homes with your involvement. But it can make an impact in it. And not only can it make an impact on it for the whole nation, but it can make an individual impact for you guys. So look, one of the biggest sought after industries is not to go out and become a medical professional, not a dentist, not an attorney, not a teacher, not a firefighter, not a service worker, not a police officer, but being in the real estate game and the affordable housing sector is more sought after and needed today for young professionals, young adults, and industry leaders like you and I that could go out and help make an impact. And when we go out and we do this, we can also get wealthy at the exact same time. So ladies and gentlemen, for more information about how you yourself can take advantage of the upside of what's needed, not just in your own city and town, but nationwide, click below. Join the movement and learn how you yourself can participate over the next decade in the earning profits and the deliverability of affordable housing units. If you like this content and want more content just like this, as market updates, trend, and change, then click below, pound and subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you next time. For more information, I'm going to drop a link to another video, either down below, up above, or somewhere in this video, to be able to go in and learn a little bit more about affordable housing and how you can position yourself to learn how to invest and how to strategically take advantage of what is needed more so now than ever in the United States. Click below, join me, and I'll see you inside.